Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to the Chaplain channel. My name is Natalie, and I am the Chaplain, and I'm so glad that you joined us today. It's a sunny day where we live right now, and sunshine is 100 bonus points if you ask me. We have been reading from a book called Is It My Fault? And today we're going to begin chapter 2, which is entitled, Am I in an Abusive Relationship? And I just want to say up front, this chapter really opened my eyes in April of 2014 to what was going on in our home. So some of it might be a little triggering, just a little heads up. You can always shut off the video and walk away if this gets too heavy, all right? But I am the chaplain and I care about you, so I am going to read through this today. Am I in an abusive relationship? You may already know the answer to this question. But if you don't, it's okay to explore the issue. Either way, we believe you'll soon find you're not alone in your experience. When the abuse first begins, many women in abusive relationships aren't sure if what they're experiencing is abuse. In fact, one of the biggest hurdles to addressing domestic violence is that very few victims self-identify as experiencing abuse. Many think abuse happens to those women and don't want to have the stigma of being one of those women. The most telling sign that you are in an abusive relationship is living in fear of your partner. If you feel like you have to walk on eggshells around him, constantly watching what you say and do in order to avoid a blow-up, your relationship is unhealthy and likely abusive. Other signs include your partner's belittling of you, his attempts to control you, and feelings of self-loathing, helplessness, and desperation. An abuser typically has a well-stocked arsenal of ways to exert power over you. He may employ domination, humiliation, isolation, threats, intimidation, denial, blame, and more. What's more, he is often creative and strategic in when and how to put these to their most effective use. None of this is your fault. Your abuser is the only one to blame. And because he is so good at deceptively wielding control, it can often be difficult to discern if you are being abused. From the perspective of outside observers, these signs of abuse may be cut and dry. But for those trapped in the cycles of abuse, making sense of these complicated relational dynamics, especially when the relationship is intimate, it can be suffocating and confusing. If this is where you find yourself right now, here are some ways to discern if your relationship is abusive. Signs you're in an abusive relationship. Some abuse victims may be so confused by the relational dynamics in their relationship, understandably so, that they need to hear stories and common experiences from others in order to make sense of their own. Some find it helpful to identify domestic abuse by understanding the common profiles of abusers and recognizing their partner among them. Since abuse is defined by an abuser's behavior, not yours, we'll start with identifying just that. Here are 8 categories or personas abusers commonly exhibit. Number 1, bully. He glares, shouts, smashes things, and sulks. Number 2, jailer. Stops you from working and seeing friends. He tells you what to wear. He keeps you in the house. He charms your friends or family. Number 3, head worker. He puts you down. He tells you you're too fat, too thin, ugly, stupid, useless, etc. Number 4, persuader. He threatens to hurt or kill you or the children. He cries. He says he loves you. He threatens to kill himself. He threatens to report you to social services. Number 5, liar. He denies any abuse. He says it was only a slap. He blames drinking, drugs, stress, overwork, you, unemployment, etc. Number 6, bad father. He says you are a bad mother. He turns the children against you. He uses access to harass you. He threatens to take the children away. He persuades you to have his baby and then refuses to help you care for it. Number 7, king of the castle. He treats you as a servant or slave. He says women are for sex, cooking, and housework. He expects sex on demand. He controls all the money. Number 8, sexual controller. He sexually assaults you. He won't accept no for an answer. He keeps you pregnant, rejects your advances, and allows sex only when he wants it rather than when you initiate. Next, we'll look at the specific tactics your abuser might use to exert his power and control. The most common tactics include belittling, controlling, and acting violently and or making violent threats. Does your partner yell at you, embarrass, insult, criticize you, call you names, or put you down? Treat you so badly that you're embarrassed for your family or friends to see. Put you down but then tells you that he loves you. Ignore or belittle your opinions or accomplishments. Blame you for his abusive behavior. Use any mistake you made in the past against you. Not allow you to disagree. Ignore your feelings and ideas. Tell you that you are a bad parent or threaten to take away or hurt your children. Act like the abuse is no big deal. Tell you it is your fault or even deny doing it. Sees you as property or a sex object rather than as a person. Those are all belittling behaviors. Next are controlling behaviors. Does your partner act excessively jealous or possessive? Does he withhold affection as a way to punish you? Does he control where you go, what you do, and demand your whereabouts? Keep you from seeing your family or friends? Limit your access to money, the phone, or the car? Withhold basic necessities, food, clothes, medications, shelter? Does he make you ask for money or refuse to give you money? Does he restrict you to an allowance, prevent you from working, or sabotage your job, steal from you or take your money, constantly check up on you, control your plans and friends, stop you from seeing your family or friends, force you to drop charges? These are violent behaviors and threats. Next, does your partner hit, kick, slap, choke, burn, shove, shake, drag, bite, push, punch, or physically harm you in any other way? Does he throw things at you? Does he have a bad, unpredictable temper, threaten to hurt or kill you, threaten to take your children away or harm them, threaten to commit suicide if you leave, intimidate you with guns, knives, or other weapons, destroy your property or belongings, threaten to kill your pet, force, threaten, or coerce you to have sex, destroy your belongings. The descriptions above are focused on your partner's behavior, which are all telltale signs of abuse. These next questions are for you to determine how you feel regarding your partner's behavior. The more yes answers here, the more likely it is that you are in an abusive relationship. And I think we'll go to that tomorrow. I think we've put a lot out there today already. I would like to add some things to these lists. If your partner is overweight and he lays on top of you in the night so that you are suffocated and cannot breathe, that's abuse. If he blocks you from leaving a room, that's against the law. That's abuse. If he does passive-aggressive things, for example, giving you such a big hug that you can't breathe and your air just escapes out of you and all you have left is a squeak, that's abuse. If he pushes you down the stairs, that's abuse. If he forces you to do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing, that's abuse. If he locks you in a room, that's abuse. If he throws you against the wall, the chair, the bathroom vanity, that's abuse. And these are all examples that as a chaplain I have heard from other women. Not to mention also the punching and the pushing and the slapping and the kicking and the hair pulling. So these are all heavy, heavy things. I want you to know that there is help. I work for a ministry. It's called FOCUS Ministries. You can find us online at www.focusministries.org. And there you can find articles and resources and a blog that I have written and other people have written. A lot of ways that you can get help. We also have support groups, in-person support groups and online support groups. There's a way out. There's always a way to get help. There's always a way to get support. And we're here to help you. Thanks so much for coming to the Chaplain channel today. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance on you and give you his peace. We'll see you next time on the Chaplain channel. Shalom.